Hey guys, so for dinner I made slow cooked butter chicken. So first we're gonna start off by prepping our chicken thighs. I got the bone in chicken thighs, so I had to cut the bone out. As you see, you do not have to buy the bone in. You can buy the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, but the bone in is a little cheaper, and I buy a lot of meat because I cook for a lot of people. So bone in it is for me. I've used this recipe a countless number of times, and my family absolutely loves it. Oh, there goes the chicken bone. I always tell myself I'm not gonna do bone in because it takes so long to prep the chicken, but here I am buying it again. But it's okay. So you're gonna keep prepping your chicken. I like to cut off some of the fat. I don't cut off all of the fat though. I do like the skin, so I just cut it off just a little bit. Not too excessively. Fun story. Every year for like Mother's Day and Christmas, everybody always asks me like, what do you want? And I always tell them I want a really nice knife set. You know, like I'm always in the kitchen cooking, and I need a great quality knife. Like I need it. And I like to cook, so it would make my life easier. And so whenever I tell, okay, had to get that girl her wallet. But yeah, so when the last person I told that to, they were like, but that's not an actual gift. That's something for the house. I'm cooking almost like every other day. That is something for me. So, but anywho, once you're done with your chicken, you're gonna cube it into pieces. This little girl is drinking her water, like slurping it down. I don't know if y'all can hear it in the background. I'm pretty sure you can. But anywho, I'm going to fast forward until I need to talk again. Look, watch here. I switched out my knife for a slightly better knife. So, I'm cutting up these last few little pieces for you guys, and right here I have my seasonings already measured out. Well, actually I shouldn't say measured out. I don't really measure, but the seasonings I use and a rough estimate of my measurements include 6 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste, which I was out of, so I'll tell you guys what I used instead as a substitute. 1.5 teaspoons of garam masala, 3/4 teaspoons of turmeric, 1.5 teaspoon ground cumin, 3 tablespoons of chili powder, and 3 teaspoons of salt. And then you're gonna take 1 lemon and slice it in half and squeeze it. And of course, after, you're gonna give it a nice mixing. Make sure your hands are clean with soap and water before you do this step. And make sure after you finish mixing, you also wash your hands again, because you don't want your chicken germs to get everywhere, okay? But I know you already knew that. Okay, so once that is fully mixed and all the seasoning is covering all of the pieces of chicken, you're going to set it aside for like 30 minutes or so, up to 24 hours, whatever your heart desires. Next, you're going to take your Instapot, crock pot, whatever, if you have an Instapot, preferably, because I'm going to pressure cook this for the next step. If you don't have a pressure cooker, Instapot, whatever, no problem at all. You could do this using your skillet. So my freaking camera wasn't recording. I thought I had hit record, so bear with me. For the next step, you're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter and melt it. And once you do that, add 3 star anise, 3 black cardamom, 12 to 15 pods of green cardamom, and then you're going to take the seeds from inside those pods. And then you need 2 cinnamon sticks, and lastly 1.5 tablespoons of cumin seeds, which I didn't have. I just used ground cumin instead. And then you're gonna mix and allow the flavor to absorb in the butter for at least a minute. Once that minute is up, you're going to dice an onion. And remember I talked about that garlic ginger paste? Yeah, so I didn't have it, so instead I used garlic, fresh garlic, and then I had some ginger powder, so that was my substitute. So we are going to saute that until the onions are brown. Next, you're going to add your ground seasonings, which include 1.5 teaspoons garam masala, 3 teaspoons of ground coriander, 0.5 teaspoons of ground cloves, and 3 tablespoons of chili powder. Give it a good stir for about a minute. Do not let it sit because it will burn. Yes, babe. Next, you're going to add tomato sauce. I used 8 ounces. And you're going to add tomato paste as well. I did not measure. I just scooped some out. I had a 12-ounce can, but I did not use all of it. Give that bad boy a good stir and let it simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes to allow everything to infuse together. If you find that your sauce is too thick, you can add a little bit of water to it, but keep in mind that you will be adding heavy cream a little bit later, so you don't want it too runny, unless you like runny curry. I guess just your preference. After your time has come to an end for your simmer, you need to find your spices and take them out. For the next step, we are going to blend our mixture, so add everything into the blender. Now we are going to cook our chicken. And again, if you don't have a crock pot, Instapot, whatever, you can use your skillet. I actually usually make this in my skillet, but we were going to science night at my daughter's school. So I was like, I'm going to have to put this in a crock pot because I wasn't going to be home to cook and I needed it to be done by the time we got back home. So I just added a little bit of olive oil to the pot. Let the oil heat up a little bit. Oh my gosh, this girl is so loud. Did y'all see that little piece of chicken fly out? So you're going to cook the chicken just a little bit. Girl, you're so loud. All up in the background. While the chicken is cooking, you can start your blender. I added like a tablespoon of butter to my mixture before I blended it. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's optional. Also, at this point, if you find that your mixture is still too thick, add some water to help loosen it up. What the amigos say? In the kitchen for twisting like a stir fry. Yes. So you're gonna toss that chicken, and once it's brown to your liking, you can add your mixture back in. And so the thing about this, because we're gonna be slow cooking it, the chicken doesn't have to be fully cooked. Okay, so we're gonna give that a good little spin so that all the chicken is coated in our buttered chicken sauce. Wow, look at that. So beautiful. So here you can add any extra water, you can add sugar, salt. If you like it spicy, you can add some cayenne pepper to it, whatever you want. And once it's to your tasting, you can give that bad boy a close and cook it on low. So we have returned from science night at the school, so it's time to take a look at our finished product. Oh, look at that beautiful pot of buttered chicken. Okay, so now we're gonna add the half and half, or you can use heavy whipping cream, but I legit don't have any measurements for this. I just pour as I go until it gets to the desired color, you know, like that orange color. And I also taste it to make sure it's like kind of creamy. To guess, I will probably say I used about like half a cup to a cup, somewhere around that. But yeah, like I said, just pour as you go. And make sure you taste it again and make sure it doesn't need any more like salt, sugar, or whatever else you want in it. And it's all done. You can garnish it with cilantro, red onion, and more heavy whipping cream if you have heavy whipping cream. You know how like the fancy people do it on Instagram and stuff. And that's it. Serve it over rice. I actually made some chickpeas too, and I have naan bread on the side. Thanks for watching.